200,000 a year? Great. That's in my income range for guys that I date.
Hey, this is JCthecatalyst, and today we're going to be talking about unrealistic standards that men and women have that hold them back from getting what they want. Let's begin.
This is how you avoid dating broke boys. Don't date broke boys, they just stress you out. Number one, when I meet a guy and he wants to ask me out on a date, I say, okay, where are you from? What do you do? I am a aerospace engineer. I go straight to Google, type in aerospace engineer salary. 200,000 a year? Great. That's in my income range for guys that I date.
Okay, so we're starting off already to a bad start because we're reducing humanity down to a very kind of like grocery shopping list, which is not even a good idea to begin with because I call these people candy shoppers because when you say candy shoppers, candy is short sighted, it's sweet, and that's essentially what they're doing. They're reducing a person down to an idea and not an actual person. And kind of like if you were to date ideas, you would get sick of them because you're not really opening yourself to a full-fledged person. You're opening yourself up to an idea of a person, and you're always going to get disappointed because they probably won't like essentially fit your criteria all the way. So you have to be aware of men and women that are essentially candy shoppers when they're picking and choosing and they're checking off a list of like, you have to meet my criteria of this and you have to meet my criteria of that, instead of taking for a person for who they are. And I need people to understand that if we're basing it off of the United States, only 21% of men make $100,000 or more in the entire country. 21%. And I guarantee you, they're not all lookers and they might be short. Who knows? I mean, Jeff Bezos is kind of short, so I mean, you guys got to be realistic with where you are with your standards. Same thing goes for men with the standards that they have as well. Let's continue.
Now, if he comes and says that he works at McDonald's, no shade. You just don't make enough to date me, and that's okay. There's a girl out there for you. It's just not me. Number three, check his living situation. Does he have his own place, or does he still live with his mom in his mom's basement?
So she has a semi-valid point here, and notice how I said semi. So as far as McDonald's goes, that McDonald's comment, I feel that if you are not making the money that you're supposed to be making or the money that you want to be making, you should not get into a relationship anytime soon. I don't think that a lot of people really factor in that relationship costs money. And in order to sustain that, it not only costs money, but it costs time. Time that you could be spending on leveling up, time that you could be spending on getting your career on the right track to where you want it to be. And I think sometimes people get distracted with relationships, and relationships can kind of throw them off track because you constantly have to compromise what your dream is with their dream. And it's a lot easier to not have to deal with any kind of compromise when your path is very clear of what you want to do with your dream and your career, and you're already on it. It's a lot easier to find someone while you're going in your journey in that way, instead of bringing someone onto your team, a relationship onto your team when you're at a McDonald's or when you're at an entry level kind of job just paying the bills. I never thought it was the smartest idea for people to do that. But do you personally agree or disagree with what she's saying? Let me know in the comments below, guys. I really want to know what you guys think.
Very important. Another thing, does he have an actual bed, elevated off the floor so you're not breathing dust? Does he have more than one pillow? Does he have blankets? Or do you walk into his room and he has one mattress laying on the floor with one stained pillow? Ew, gross. If you can't afford to pay your own rent, how can you afford to pay my rent? No. Number three, if he wants you to call your own Uber to the date to see him, absolute automatic no. He's a broke boy. Not doing it. That is when I tell him, I prefer it if you sent my Uber to my place or you pick me up yourself, because I'm a lady. I deserve to be treated like a princess, and I'm not accepting anything lower. Period.
So what makes a person want to demand all of these types of things? He has to make 200K. He has to pay for all my bills. He has to do all these things. It sounds in the realm of delusion to a certain point. All of the high demands, men might make the same example of she needs to be a 10. You might hear a guy that also might be possibly overweight, and he might say, She needs to be a 10. She needs to be into this. She needs to be into that. And she can only do this and that. And where does all this come from? I mean, these are two sides of the same coin. Well, the reason why people might say these things is because this is the only way in their mind they can have control. If you make high standards that you'll never engage with these people that you're talking about, and you make these unrealistic standards, it's a way for you to cope with understanding how the world is not in your control. But you feel like it's in control if you have these standards because no one can reach your standards and, this is how it is and I only will do this and I won't settle for less. So when you are necessarily hearing a person say these things, guy or girl, you have to just kind of like listen to it with a grain of salt. And you just kind of have to understand that this is their only way that they can have that type of control in their life, at least feel that way.
When I'm in a relationship, I don't believe in spending my money on my man. His money is for me, my money is for me. Okay, so that means when we go out, we go on dates, we go shopping, we do whatever, we are using his money. My money does not get touched. Okay, that is just the standard.
Okay, I'm going to say something that is probably going to go over people's heads, but I'm going to say it anyway. You can technically have as many standards as you want, so long as the people that you're attracting are also attracted to you. I'm going to say that again. You can have as many standards as you want, so long as the people you are attracting are also attracted to you. And I think people often forget that last part. And this is not going directly to her. This is going for people in general. I need people to have realistic ideas of what they're doing. Because here's the thing. You can say all the things until the dogs come home, but if it's been over a year and you have yet to find anyone in that criteria that you've created for yourself, then you failed. You failed yourself. Why? Because there are people that have a certain criteria and they can find those people within a month, within 2 months, at least getting to the dating phase. If you have not even gone to the dating phase of, let's say, a 200K man, then, what are you doing? Are you just saying things? Are you just saying things online? Are you just imagining things? Are you just daydreaming things? I think a lot of people just live in that kind of realm for the most part. I don't think people actually put in the effort to find these people because the moment you find these people, you might get a real harsh reality check. Because if you were to be in the vicinity of the competition that these people have to deal with, high competition people, then you would get a real reality check of seeing, oh, I'm out of my depth. So what is the takeaway from all this? Guys, I just want you to be happy. I want you to have realistic standards of where you are and how you can possibly improve and get exactly what you want. So if you have standards, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you feel that they are realistic. Let me know if you feel that they're a little bit wishful. And I just want to have a discussion with you guys. So, and if you haven't liked this video yet, like it now. And then not only that, if you want to reach out to me private one-on-one, I have a 24/7 texting line, which is on Patreon. And that's the best way to get a hold of me if you want to talk about anything under the sun. It also includes a facial analysis. And speaking of facial analysis, I actually will be linking a facial analysis episode right here. And you can just go from this episode and go to the facial breakdown of one of my followers. All right, see you guys later. Bye.